What if Deku um had a prediction quirk? Part 4. So we're gonna run that bad boy down real quick. We're gonna start at the USJ attack. Everyone's like, "Wow, Deku, you're so strong," and they're not stroking this dude's ego. They're just like, surprised this kid's so strong because his quirk isn't physical based. It's more like energy and mental based. So this is kind of like right after the attempt with the Nomu and all that stuff. And this Deku once again does not have one for all because he gave us a Bakugo because for reasons. And um, they're gonna have a little training session right before the sports festival. Bakugo sitting there trying out different moves. Deku's doing his own training regime, and they're just going at it like that. So by the time the sports festival comes in, Deku actually knows the equipment people already due to the fact that he had, some basic equipment and shit made for him. And he has some like armor made for him basically because he doesn't have an enhancement quirk and he doesn't have anything big body like that. So yes, he knows how to use chi and stuff to help strengthen his body. Yes, he can predict it, but sometimes he might be in a situation where he won't always be able to predict it. And this is very true because he remember the fight him and Bakugo had when they first started um when they first did UA, like when they did the little no, they didn't do that yet. Okay, I can save that. So um I'm gonna put this in. I'm trying to think where I'm gonna put this in. Okay, I got it. So we're gonna do it to where this sports festival happens pretty similar, can it? Since Deku can predict the future, he knows Todoroki is gonna go for his eyes. He's no Bakugo, Todoroki. He knows everyone's placement, right? So what he does is he uses this to his advantage, and he doesn't have his armor suit on yet because it's heavy, but it protects him. So it's defense over speed. So he it's kind of like an Iron Man suit, but it's more energy based. So instead of having it in defense mode, he has it in agility slash speed mode, and he's using this, and he's gone. He's off on the plug, and he's just running, and it doesn't do. It just enhances his capabilities already. So it's like a multiplier, kind of like Super Saiyan, where if you have a base power of 50 and then you transform into, Super Saiyan, it's still gonna be that 50 multiplier. So it's not none too crazy, but it's enough to help him, reach superhuman in the world of My Hero, if that makes any sense. So they are off on the plug. They're hustling. Everyone's running. Deku's ahead of them. He actually let these niggas go ahead of him so he can, do his big plan of making the boom, boom. I mean, not the boom, but he basically chopped down a robot easier than he did in canon. And he uses all those bombs and stuff because he's able to know where the bombs are due to where people didn't step it. No, actually, I'm gonna say he's ahead since he can see the future. He saw where these bombs would be at. He left just enough bombs to hit all the people it would have hit anyways, and then he uses that shit to blast forward. So let's cut the bullshit, guys. Deku, he's in first place. Bakugo, Todoroki, all these niggas, basically similar to how it was in canon. Ida makes a declaration of war, so instead of doing what he did originally, he has the same team basically. Um, but the difference is it doesn't take him nearly as long to find it. He uses his ability, just doesn't even bother asking anybody because he knows what they're gonna say. Oh, by the way, do not use razors. I was at work. They were like, "You need to shave." The GM gave me $5. Do not use razors. Just use clippers, especially for black, because it fucks with the way your hair grows, and this happens. And it's really annoying to deal with. I'm just waiting for this hole to heal, and then I'm gonna cut my use my razors and shit. Look at that, bro. Look at that. Look at that. Ugh. Sorry about that. Just Just thought about it. Anyway, so Deku does that, and he wins. But the difference with this is he knows what's gonna happen, what isn't gonna happen. Now we gotta remember though, he doesn't have a one for all, so he's not able to flick shot and keep people away, right? But he has weapons. And he has better physical capabilities, right? So it's cool as long as he doesn't touch the ground, right? So what he's gonna do to bypass this is he's gonna use the little jet engine, and he knows which one's gonna work, which one's gonna last. So they're actually gonna be in a better position. So what I'm gonna say happens is, as everything is going on, Deku predicts the same thing, and you know how Todoroki switched it out. So I'm gonna say they get it, and all of this stuff happens pretty similarly, but the end result's gonna be different because Todoroki will not be able to get the tag. I mean, he will not be able to keep the tag because Deku predicted not grabbing the tag. So everything's gonna be all in the tense and stuff until the end moments revealed to like where Todoroki's like, I switched it. He's like, and then he acts like he didn't know, but in reality, he has the first one and the third one due to Toriyami. Due to the bird dude helping him out. Bakugo still tries to get him and stuff, and Deku was able to do like some riskier plays due to the fact is as long as he doesn't touch the ground, he's okay. And I'm gonna presume they were referring to like his actual foot or like his actual thing, because he can use like throw some weapons down and like touch those or like run on those and keep it to where he's not touching the ground. Similar to how Bakugo used his quirk not to touch the ground. So now we're gonna get into the fight scene. And like before the fight even starts, Deku literally saying most of the time no one understands what the fuck this dude's talking about because he's saying stuff that hasn't even happened yet. He's like, I know how you feel. Being trapped in a world full of powers and abilities and all of that. I understand how you feel. If your ability isn't super flashy or isn't super powerful, no one likes you. If you don't have a power like All Might, no one likes you. They'll call you a freak. They'll call you names. Hell, I guess in your given case, they'll call you a villain. He's like, you don't know, shut your... He says his full name and everything. As I was saying before I rudely was interrupted, people don't understand what it's like for individuals like us. And then so he'll go into all that spill. He's like, listen, fight me as hard as you can. And Deku already knows dude punches and stuff. He's like, fight me as hard as you can. Either that or you can just hop out the arena. You won't be able to beat me the way you are. And since this dude hasn't said anything, or anytime he tried to say anything, Deku stopped him from speaking or like interrupted him. It was pretty much like a one-sided conversation. So Deku was just kind of like, I will talk to Ozawa to see if you can get moved to the hero course. Okay? I understand Shoto something. I don't remember what the dude's name is. And so that shit would happen and he'd be like, all right. And just leave and just step out. Uraraka. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to make sure there's no other fight I want to go over. Todoroki is actually does pretty much the same mechanic. The only difference is there's no need for an emotional, it's your power, you use it. None of that bullshit. It's just the dude goes off crazy, goes stupid, go dumb, you know? And he ices, burns, and all that stuff. Like, he doesn't need a reason, because Deku already talked to him. The same thing with Bakugo. Bakugo actually does a lot better against Uraraka. And to put it in perspective, imagine you're fighting someone, let's say you're like 15 and they're like 13, right? You can beat them, but you got to put full effort into it. Let's just say, you know, the natural physical progression, right? So it's like, that's kind of how Bakugo did with the fight. Give me a second here. Like and subscribe. Thank you. Pizza is the comment for this one.